from what mindset have you as a manager been making your decisions? You see, you are all peak performing salespeople. And as such, you develop certain instincts as a sales professional which still reside within you. Then you made the great leap to management leadership role. And I would suggest you need to completely change your thinking. How manager leaders think and approach their decisions are in several ways diametrically opposite of how salespeople's instincts have driven their behavior in the past. So I've got three objectives here that I'd like to share with you. First is something we can all agree on, is that a sales rep's mindset is different than a sales manager mindset. Second is that under stress, we managers may not be conscious of when we revert to our sales rep thinking. I like what one sales manager said to me about stress recently. He said, Kevin, he says, it's not that stressful around here. The only time it's really stressful are the last 90 days of each quarter. So the message is we're always under stress, right? And let me give you an example of what I mean by we may not be conscious of when we revert to our old sales rep instincts. And this is a personal story. My son, his second year of Little League Baseball, Kyle's his name. Kyle came out his first year in Little League Baseball, he was the worst player on the field. I mean, it was all we could do to get him to be standing up when the batter swung at the ball sitting on the tee, right? I was determined to prove in the off season that my son, I thought he had more talent than what he showed his first year. So, of course, I got out there and I worked with him on drills, throwing, catching, hitting. So we went back the second year and I decided to volunteer to be the assistant coach for the team. So as I get out there at the beginning of the season, I'm looking at the talent. And in my mind, Kyle is third, maybe the fourth best player on the field. Unfortunately, as the season evolved, it became obvious that the head coach didn't see things the way I did. Because Kyle was batting last in the lineup and playing out in right field. Now, what do we know about right fielders in Little League?
Daisy numbers.
Yeah.
Looking for four-leaf clovers.
Looking for four-leaf clovers. I know this, of course, because I played right field when I was in Little League, but we don't want to go there. So about 6 weeks into the season, I decided I'd be a good parent. I wasn't going to make a ruckus, just going to be quiet, do my job, help the kids, and let my son get a couple at-bats a game and play 2 or 3 innings in right field. That was it. 6 weeks into the season, the head coach calls me. He says, Kevin, I got the flu. Will you manage the team for the next game? All right, so you're me. What do you do? I couldn't put him at pitcher because it was coach pitch. Shortstop was a little too bold, but I did put him at second base. And I batted him leadoff. How do you think he did? Terrible. And as I sat there on the bench watching my son, he struck out every time he was up, and he made 4 errors at second. We lost the game. And I'll never forget, as I'm sitting there on the bench watching him bobble the ball, listening to the parents bitch and moan behind me, right? Can you see that? This point hit me, that I had 2 mindsets here. I had the mindset of a coach, but I had the instincts or mindset also of a father. And I thought I was evaluating him through my coach glasses. But I was truly, his performance on the field proved to me that I was twisted by my by just the fatherly instincts. And in much the same way, you as former peak performing salespeople, you have instincts that you developed and honed that contributed to why you are here. Those instincts are what we want to talk about and show the polar opposite of how certain instincts of salespeople are exactly the opposite of what I think it takes to make great decisions as a sales manager.